Zoroastrianism traces its origins back to the teachings of the Persian prophet Zoroaster, who lived around 1500 to 1000 BCE. Zoroastrianism is centered around the belief in one supreme deity, Ahura Mazda, the Lord of Wisdom, who is responsible for creating and sustaining all existence. Zoroastrians are encouraged to live their lives guided by the principles of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Originally, the Persians practiced a polytheistic religion, with Ahura Mazda as the chief god among many others. This early belief system saw life as a struggle between the forces of light and darkness, with Ahura Mazda representing light and goodness, and Angra Mainyu representing darkness and evil. Zoroastrianism gained prominence during the Achaemenid Persian Empire, the Parthian Empire, and reached its peak under the Sasanian Empire. The Sasanians made Zoroastrianism the state religion and developed their own branch of the faith known as Zoroastrianism. However, with the arrival of the Muslim Arab invasion in 651 CE, Zoroastrianism faced persecution, and many of its religious sites were destroyed. Despite persecution, Zoroastrianism survived, albeit with a reduced number of adherents. The faith continues to be practiced to this day. In its early origins, Zoroastrianism evolved from the polytheistic beliefs of the ancient Persians, which were likely influenced by earlier cultures in the region, such as the Elamites and the people of Susiana. The core belief of early Zoroastrianism was that humanity must choose to follow Ahura Mazda and reject the temptations of Angra Mainyu in order to live meaningful lives. While there were no written scriptures at this time, certain aspects of the faith, such as the worship of gods at outdoor shrines called fire temples, were preserved. Priests played a central role in Zoroastrianism, interceding with the gods on behalf of the people and receiving sacrifices in return. This made the clergy one of the wealthiest and most powerful classes in Persian society. And now let's delve deeper into the life of its founder, Zoroaster. He, born into a noble Persian family, showed promise from a young age. His father, Poruzespa, likely a member of the priestly class, provided him with an education rather than sending him to work. By the age of 15, Zoroaster was already serving as a priest's assistant, participating in rituals that involved the slaughter of animals for sacrifice. However, he found these practices deeply troubling, and as he matured, he began to question the beliefs of the established religion. At the age of 30, during a religious festival by the river, Zoroaster experienced a profound vision. Before him appeared Vohu Maha, a celestial being sent by Ahura Mazda, the one true God. Vohu Maha revealed to Zoroaster that the priests had misunderstood the divine truth and were worshipping false gods. Ahura Mazda required ethical behavior, not blood sacrifices. Zoroaster was chosen to spread this revelation. Zoroaster's message was met with skepticism and hostility. He faced rejection from the priests, threats on his life, and was eventually forced to flee his home. Undeterred, he continued to preach the new truth, seeking guidance from Ahura Mazda through prayer. His prayers and inquiries would later be recorded in the Avesta, the sacred scriptures of Zoroastrianism. Seeking refuge, Zoroaster found himself at the court of King Vishtaspa, where he engaged in a theological debate with the court priests. Despite winning the debate, Zoroaster was imprisoned by the king for challenging the established order. However, his miraculous healing of Vishtaspa's paralyzed horse convinced the king of his divine mission. Vishtaspa became Zoroaster's first convert, and his conversion led others to embrace the new faith. Zoroaster continued to preach until his death at around 77 years old. His teachings, passed down orally by his disciples, eventually found their way into written form and spread throughout the Achaemenid Empire. Continuing from the revelations received by Zoroaster and the foundational principles of Zoroastrianism, let's explore the deeper aspects of this ancient faith. Zoroaster's vision by the river served as the bedrock for his newfound faith, grounding it in 5 fundamental principles. Firstly, Zoroastrianism proclaimed Ahura Mazda as the supreme deity, embodying all goodness and light. Conversely, Angra Mainyu stood as his eternal adversary, representing darkness and evil. This dualistic understanding of the universe underscored the eternal struggle between good and evil, with humanity possessing the free will to choose between the two. Central to Zoroastrian ethics was the principle that goodness could be manifested through virtuous thoughts, words, and deeds. This emphasis on ethical conduct formed the basis for a fulfilling life, as adherents sought to embody the teachings of Ahura Mazda. Key to Zoroastrian moral philosophy were principles such as truthfulness, charity, love for others, and moderation in all aspects of life. By upholding these values, believers aspired to cultivate a righteous existence and secure a favorable destiny in the afterlife. The Zoroastrian concept of the afterlife was intricately linked to the deeds and choices made during one's earthly life. Upon death, the soul underwent a journey of judgment and purification before reaching its final destination. Initially, the soul lingered near the body for 3 days, guarded by a dog to ward off evil spirits. Subsequently, it crossed the Chinvid Bridge, where its actions were evaluated by divine judges. Just souls were welcomed into the paradise of the House of Song, while the wicked faced torment in the depths of the House of Lies. Yet, even for those consigned to the darkest depths of hell, there remained hope. Zoroastrianism prophesied the coming of a Messiah, the Saoshyant, who would usher in a final reckoning known as the Freshokareti, or the end of time. In this apocalyptic event, all souls, regardless of their past deeds, would be reunited with Ahura Mazda in a blissful union, signaling the ultimate triumph of good over evil. And, in the practice of Zoroastrianism, adherents expressed their devotion not only through their daily actions but also through ritual worship, particularly in the solemn service known as the Yasna. This sacred ritual aimed to bear witness to truth, resist falsehood, and fortify believers against the encroaching forces of darkness. Central to these rituals were fire and water, symbolizing the sacred elements of creation and wisdom respectively. Fire, considered the last element created by Ahura Mazda, was venerated in fire temples, where priests offered prayers and recited sacred words in its presence. The ritual of Ab-Zor purified water, symbolizing the cleansing of the world's waters and the atonement for any harm done. Even in death, Zoroastrian rituals were conducted with solemnity and moderation. Funeral services were understated, with the deceased's body cared for in the home. A crucial rite, the sagdid or glance of the dog, ensured that the individual had truly passed away and wasn't in a state of coma. Once completed, the body was placed on towers of silence, where it was exposed to the elements. Upon decomposition, the bones were interred, following the belief that burial in the earth was detrimental to the environment. These rituals were deeply intertwined with the body of Zoroastrian scripture, customs and beliefs, preserved in texts such as the Avesta, Dinkard, and Bundahism. The Avesta, comprising hymns, liturgical texts, and ecclesiastical codes, was codified during the reigns of Shapur II and Khosrau I, providing a comprehensive guide for Zoroastrian practice and philosophy. Despite its deep roots and widespread acceptance by ruling empires, Zoroastrianism faced suppression in later centuries. The emergence of Zorvanism, a divergent branch of the faith, and the spread of Christianity posed challenges to its theological hegemony. However, it was the Muslim Arab invasion in the 7th century CE that dealt a severe blow to Zoroastrianism. Fire temples were desecrated, libraries destroyed, and believers faced persecution, leading many to flee their homelands. Yet, Zoroastrianism endured, finding refuge among the Parsis of India and the resilient communities of Iran. Its core concepts of individual responsibility, judgment after death, and an eventual end time influenced later monotheistic religions, including Christianity and Islam.